The afternoon sun started to sink, casting a deep golden glow across KTA block. Upstairs in the main apartment, the vibe was a mix of family love and heavy-duty hustle. Shay was resting comfortably on the couch, her hand resting over her baby bump, where little Spider was kicking. Her sisters Tink Lola and Sky were crowded around her, laughing and debating baby names, while Meyer and Pam sat by the table keeping their compact pieces close and an eye on the courtyard. Smokey famous and Reese stood by the doorway, watching over the women while keeping tabs on the block. The alliance with Bluefield was strong, and the starting was paid off, but the drug game never slept. "Yo, Smokey," Louie called out, stepping out of the back room with a notebook. Swag Sosa and Trey are heading down to the basement garage. That out-of-town dealer just pulled up for the re-up. He's an eccentric dude, but he's got deep pockets. Smokey nodded, looking back at Shay. "I'm staying right here with my girl. Sosa, take the guys and go handle the transaction. Make sure the money matches." The meet in the garage. Down in the dim, concrete basement of the KTA complex, the shadows were long. A customized, classic lowrider hopped slightly as it braked, its hydraulics hissing. The door swung open, and out stepped a dude who looked and acted like he had just stepped straight out of a 1990s death row music video. His name was Peanut. He wore a denim vest with no shirt underneath, a leather bandana tied tightly backward around his head, and his eyes were wild with intense, poetic fury. He walked with a heavy, rhythmic bounce, waving his hands around like he was constantly in front of a camera. "West Side, real thug life type stuff," Peanut yelled, his voice sounding exactly like Tupac in his prime. He slammed his hand against the hood of his car. "They can't stop the rage, man. The city is chaotic, the system is corrupt, but I'm a sole survivor. You KTA brothers got that raw power I need for the streets." Sosa stood there completely deadpan, his heavy rifle slung over his trench coat. He just stared at Peanut like he was looking at a cartoon character. "Yeah, we got the power. You got the paper, Peanut." Swag stepped forward, looking incredibly clean in his designer gear, leaning against a concrete pillar with a smirk. "Man, look at this dude. Peanut, chill out with all the yelling before you wake up the whole block. We're trying to keep a low profile here." "Low profile?" Peanut threw his hands in the air, packing back and forth dramatically. "A coward dies 1,000 deaths, a soldier dies but once. I don't hide from the shadows, brother. I bring the light. I need 10 keys of that high-grade product y'all took from Alvarez. The streets are starving and I'm the one to feed 'em." Trey laughed out loud, leaning against the back of the SUV. "Man, you really think you're Pac, huh? All right, Pac, let's see the briefcase. No poetry, just profit." Counting the bag. Peanut snapped his fingers dramatically, and his driver tossed a heavy leather duffel bag onto the hood. Peanut unzipped it with a flourish, revealing stacked rows of tightly banded $100 bills. 250,000, Peanut declared, staring intensely into Sosa's eyes. "Untouched, untracked, pure currency for the revolution. Now show me the medicine for the masses." Louis stepped up, checking the perimeter one last time before opening the back of their SUV. He pulled out a large duffel bag containing the pristine, wrapped keys of product they had secured from the warehouse heist. Trey quickly grabbed Peanut's cash bag, running his fingers through the bills, counting with expert speed. "The money is all here, Sosa. It's legitimate." Peanut grabbed one of the bricks, slicing it open with a pocket knife and tasting the product. His eyes went wide and he looked up at the ceiling of the KTA garage, throwing his hands up again. "Mamma mia, this is it. Against all odds, we finally found the Holy Grail, KTA and Peanut. We're gonna rule the whole state, man. They can't touch us. Yeah, yeah, all eyes on me. We get it, Swag chuckled, shaking his head as he pocketed his share of the cash. Just make sure you distribute this on the west side, away from our main strips. We don't want your theatrics bringing the cops down on KTA Block. Sosa stepped up close to Peanut, his massive frame towering over the eccentric dealer. His voice was low and ice cold. We're giving you a good price because you move weight, but if you bring heat to my family or if you talk too much to the wrong people, there won't be no songs written about what happens next. You understand? Peanut stopped bouncing for a split second, sensing the absolute gravity in Sosa's eyes. He swallowed hard, then slowly nodded, slipping back into his character. I feel you, brother. Real recognize real. The code of the streets remains unbroken. The takeover is complete. Peanut loaded the product into his lowrider, slammed the trunk, and hit the hydraulics, bouncing out of the garage and speeding away into the chaotic city streets. Sosa, Swag, Louie, and Trey walked back up the concrete stairs, carrying the fresh $250,000. They walked right back into the main KTA apartment, tossing the heavy bag onto the kitchen table. Famous looked up from the balcony door. How'd it go with the actor? Dude thinks he's a movie star, Trey laughed, dabbing up Famous. But his money spends just like everybody else's. Smokey smiled, looking over at Shay, who was laughing with Maya and Pam as they folded more baby clothes. With Swag, Sosa, Trey, and Louie pulling off massive deals downstairs and Smokey, Famous, and Reese securing the fort upstairs, the family was entirely unstoppable. KTA Block wasn't just surviving anymore. They were running the entire city. The sun was fully setting now, bleeding a deep, fiery crimson over the skyline of the city. Down in the KTA courtyard, the bass from a parked SUV was rattling the windows of the apartment complex. The whole block was alive, humming with the electric energy of a crew that had just jumped from the mud straight into the millions. Upstairs in the penthouse apartment, the stove was going, the music was bumping, and the money counters were singing that beautiful asterisk creet 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 asterisk sound in the back room. Shay asterisk was sitting on the plush leather recliner, glowing like a queen, a diamond chain Smokey had just bought her catching the dim living room light. Her sisters Tink asterisk asterisk, Lola asterisk asterisk, and Sky asterisk asterisk were hyping her up, taking videos and holding up tiny, custom designer baby outfits for little asterisk asterisk spider asterisk. Oh, she's gonna be the most spoiled baby in the whole state, Tink asterisk asterisk squealed, dancing around the living room. Look at these little boots, KTA royalty. As she should be, Maya asterisk shouted from the kitchen island, popping the top off a bottle of expensive champagne, while asterisk Pam checked her reflection in the mirror, adjusting the luxury purse that hid her loaded compact piece. We went from splitting $20 bills to pouring up premium bottles. Let 'em talk about KTA now. The dynamic shift. Suddenly, the front door swung open, and the room went completely electric. Swag asterisk asterisk, Sosa asterisk asterisk, Louie asterisk asterisk, and Trey marched in like a championship team, tossing two fresh, overflowing duffel bags of cash onto the glass coffee table. 250,000 from the pack clone downstairs, Trey yelled, jumping up and throwing a handful of hundreds into the air like confetti. We flooding the market. Peanut's out there bouncing his car right now, screaming thug life down the boulevard, and our pockets are getting thicker by the second. Man, that dude was a character, Swag asterisk asterisk laughed, ice flashing on his wrists as he dapped up Smokey. But the money is crispy. Louie, tell him what the digital boards are saying. Louie slammed his laptop onto the counter, a savage grin on his face. The streets are in absolute panic, because we dropped our prices and locked in the supply. Asterisk White Stones asterisk asterisk and Redfield asterisk are officially in a financial chokehold. J Money is turning away buyers because he's out of product, and Kevin from Redfield is throwing a tantrum in his fortress because his runners are quitting to come work for us. Hash hash the Warzone calls. Just as the room started cheering, famous *** and Reese * stepped inside from the balcony, their faces deadpan, pulling the heavy curtains shut. The hype in the room simmered into a dead, icy silence. Everyone locked their eyes on the two generals. "Yo, turn the music down," Famous commanded smoothly. Trey hit the remote, muting the track. "What's the word, Famous?" Smokey asked, stepping away from Shay's chair, his hand automatically dropping to the grip of the firearm tucked into his waistband. "The white stone sedan just rolled past the main gate," Famous ** reported, his eyes flashing with a dangerous hunger. Big Dot was in the passenger seat. Terrence was driving. They didn't shoot, they were just scoping, but they looked desperate. "Let 'em look," Reese ** said, stepping into the center of the room. He didn't look worried at all. In fact, he looked like he was throwing a party. He reached into his duffel bag and pulled out a brand new, fully automatic submachine gun with a drum magazine, slapping it onto the table next to the cache. "They saw the starting pull up earlier and leave peacefully. They know we're protected. If White Stones or Redfield want to commit suicide by stepping onto KTA block tonight, I say we let 'em." The ultimate hype. Smokey looked around the room. He looked at his beautiful, pregnant woman carrying his future daughter. He looked at her sisters and friends who were ready to ride. He looked at his 5 brothers, Sosa, Famous, Trey, Reese, Swag, Smoke, and Louie. A whole army of blood backed by the wildest game in the city. The struggle was officially over. The takeover was happening right now. Smokey grabbed his piece off the counter, chambered around with a loud, echoey crack, and looked at his brothers. "We ain't hiding in these apartments no more," Smokey said, his voice rising, sending a wave of pure hype through the room. "We got the plug, we got the muscle, we got the city by the throat. Sosa, Swag, grab the heavy gear. Famous, Reese, get the KTA soldiers on the roof. If Big Dot or Kevin want a war over these blocks, we ain't just gonna defend it. We're gonna go down there and take their blocks too." "That's what I'm talking about," Trey screamed, grabbing his weapon and running toward the door. "KTA, kill them all block. We run the city," Swag roared, the whole room erupting into cheers and shouts as the brothers gripped their hardware. Shay smiled from the chair, her hand on her belly. "Go handle the business, Smokey. Spider is waiting for her kingdom." With the women holding down the fort and the 6 brothers armed to the teeth, the KTA crew marched out onto the balconies, looking down at a city that finally belonged to them. The chaos was outside, but KTA was * the storm. The city was already a powder keg, but a brand new element dropped into the equation that completely blew the lid off the trenches. Out of the east side rose the *501 Boys ***, a deep, ruthless, and heavily funded gang that operated like a shadow army. They were led by 3 top figures: Michael ***, a calculating mastermind; Payne ***, a savage enforcer who lived up to his name; and Flacco ***, a lightning-fast mover who ran their street operations. The 501 Boys usually kept to their own money lines, but a brutal, personal betrayal just set the entire city on fire. Payne's girlfriend, Nikki ***, had been caught sneaking around behind his back. And she wasn't just cheating with anyone. She was sleeping with ***, the multi-millionaire top boss of the starting ***. When Payne found out, he didn't just lose his mind. He declared a scorched earth war. But instead of marching straight to Trap's heavily fortified headquarters, the 501 Boys decided to strike where it hurt the most. They knew White Stone's run by Big Dot, Terrence, and J Money, relied heavily on Trap for their supply and protection. By targeting White Stones, the 501 Boys were going to bleed Trap's economy dry and force him into the open. The East Side invasion. It started on a hot Tuesday afternoon. J Money and Terrence were standing on the main White Stone Strip, trying to manage a small crowd of buyers. They were already stressed from KTA undercutting their prices, but things were about to get a million times worse. Two heavy, matte black dually trucks slammed onto the curb, shattering the concrete. The doors flew open, and Payne stepped out, his eyes bloodshot, clutching a modified assault rifle. Next to him were Michael and Flacco backed by a dozen deep 501 boys soldiers wearing matching tactical gear. "Where that starting money at?" Payne roared, his voice echoing down the block as buyers scattered in pure terror. "Trap thinks he can touch my girl and keep his blocks running. Every dollar on this strip belongs to the 501 boys now." "Yo, hold up, this is White Stones," Terrence yelled, reaching for his waistband. Before his hand could even touch his piece, Flacco moved like lightning, raising his pistol and letting off 3 rapid shots into the pavement right at Terrence's feet. Bang, bang, bang. Dirt and stone exploded upward. "Drop it, lil' boy," Flacco barked, his face twitching with adrenaline. "Next one goes through your chest. Michael, tell him how we rocking." Michael stepped forward, completely calm, looking down at J Money. "You tell Trap that the 501 boys are taking over the north side. Every block he touches is getting burned to the ground. If White Stones stands with him, White Stones dies with him." Payne didn't even wait for a response. He walked over to J Money's parked luxury car, raised his heavy rifle, and completely emptied the magazine into the engine block, sending sparks and smoke billowing into the sky. "Tell Trap I'm coming for his head," Payne screamed into the chaos. The view from KTA block. Back at the KTA apartment complex, the energy was frantic. Louis was on the balcony with binoculars, watching the smoke rise from the White Stones territory down the boulevard. Inside, Smokey had his arm around Shay whose belly was resting comfortable as little Spider kicked. Her sisters Tink Lola and Sky along with Meyer and Pam were huddled around the TV, watching the local news break into emergency coverage of the shootout. "Yo, the whole city is going up," Trey yelled, sprinting into the living room, completely hyped. "The 501 boys just invaded White Stones. Michael, Payne, and Flacco are tearing the north side apart because Trap was messing with Payne's girl, Nikki." "A love story turned into a war zone," Swag laughed, shaking his head as he counted a fresh stack of hundreds from the peanut deal. "That's wild. Trap got all the money in the world and couldn't keep his hands to himself." Sosa stepped up, racking his rifle with a grim expression. "It ain't funny, Swag. The starting is gonna retaliate and White Stones is caught in the middle. The chaos is spreading." Famous and Reese stepped inside from the perimeter, their faces locked in serious general mode. "Smokey," Famous said, looking at his brother, "this is our perfect play. The 501 boys are completely distracting White Stones and Trap. If we drop our prices even lower right now, we can steal every single customer left in the city while they fight over Nikki." Reese leaned against the doorframe, a cold smile on his face. "And if Redfield tries to jump in to help White Stones, we catch him in the crossfire. We let the 501 boys do the heavy lifting, and KTA takes the crown." Smokey looked down at Shay, then back at his brothers, Sosa, Swag, Louie, Trey, Famous, and Reese. The whole family was unified, strapped, and getting richer by the minute while the rest of the city burned. "Let 'em war," Smokey said, a dangerous grin spreading across his face. "KTA is untouchable. Lock the gates, flood the product, and let's watch the kingdom fall into our hands." Inside the penthouse apartment, The bass from the speakers vibrated against the walls as the local news station showed live helicopter footage of the smoke rising from the white stone strip. The 501 boys were executing a brutal block-by-block blitz, and the entire city was descending into complete madness. Trey stood in the center of the living room, looking at the television screen, then down at the overflowing bags of money on the coffee table. He wasn't just hyped anymore. His mind was clicking into a heavy tactical gear. "Yo, look," Trey said, waving his hands to get everyone's attention. Smokey asterisk, Sosa asterisk, Swag asterisk, Louis asterisk, Famous asterisk, and Reese all turned to look at their younger brother. Even Shay asterisk, Tink asterisk, Lola asterisk, Sky asterisk Meyer asterisk, and Pam went quiet, listening. "Smokey is completely right," Trey explained, packing the floor with a sharp grin. "This 501 boys and starting war is a meat grinder. Payne is out of his mind over Nikki, and Trap is gonna bring the heavy artillery to defend his name. If we jump into that, we lose men and we lose focus. My plan: we play defense, stay entirely out of the crossfire, and focus only asterisk on stacking this paper. We let them exterminate each other. Once the dust settles and both sides are bleeding out, KTA buys up the rest of the city for pennies. We get the money, we get the power, and we don't lose a single soldier." Sosa nodded slowly, a rare look of approval on his face. "Smart. Let the vultures eat each other." "That's the play," Smokey agreed, rubbing Shay's belly where little asterisk spider asterisk was resting. "We stay rich, we stay safe. But in the trenches, the chaos has a way of forcing your hand." The corner store tragedy. While the brothers were locking down the main strategy inside the penthouse, a loyal, younger KTA game member named Bob was walking back from the local corner store a few blocks away. Bob was slipping. He had his headphones in, listening to music, carrying a plastic bag full of sodas and snacks, completely oblivious to how dangerous the streets had become. A rusted sedan with tinted windows slowly purred around the corner, its headlights turned off. Inside the car were Mitch Dion, his shoulder still stiff from Reese's bullet, and Damien from the Redfield Apartments ***. They had been riding around looking for a quick victory to salvage their pride after getting humiliated by KTA earlier. "Yo, look," Dion hissed, pointing out the passenger window. "That's Bob. He runs with Smokey and them. He's deep in KTA." "Catching him lacking," Damien muttered, a sinister look in his eyes. "Pull up, Mitch, right now." Mitch slammed the car into park. Damien and Dion threw their doors open and sprinted across the pavement, catching Bob completely by surprise as he stepped off the curb. Before Bob could even drop his grocery bag, Damien slammed the heavy butt of a pistol into the side of his face, sending him crashing hard onto the concrete. The sodas shattered, spilling across the asphalt. "Check his pockets, strip him," Dion barked, keeping his weapon raised to scan the empty street. Damien aggressively ripped a heavy gold KTA chain off Bob's neck, tore his designer watch off his wrist, and dug into his pockets, pulling out a thick wad of block money, about $3,000. "Please, man, don't do this," Bob groaned, clutching his bleeding face on the ground. Damien stood over him, his face completely devoid of mercy. He knew they couldn't touch Smokey or Reese right now, so he wanted to send a message through Bob. "Tell your boys KTA ain't untouchable," Damien sneered. Bang, bang, bang. 3 deafening shots echoed through the empty alleyway. Bob went completely limp on the asphalt, the dark stains spreading rapidly across the concrete next to the spilled soda. "Go, go, go," Mitch yelled from the car. Damien and Dion sprinted back to the sedan, jumping inside as Mitch hit the gas, tires screeching as they fled back to Redfield territory. # the disrespectful celebrate. Back at the asterisk Redfield apartments asterisk, the energy was loud and toxic. Inside Kevin's main apartment, the music was blasting. They hadn't made millions like KTA, but they had just spilled blood, and in their minds they were back in the game. Kevin Asterisk was sitting on a couch, laughing as Damien tossed Bob's stolen gold KTA chain and watch onto the table. "We caught him flat-footed," Dion shouted, pouring up shots of liquor for the crew. "Reese thought he locked the whole city down. Their runners are dying in the street." Mitch pulled out his smartphone, a wild, arrogant smirk on his face. "Hold up, let the internet see it. We got a trend tonight." Mitch opened up his social media app and started a live stream. He flipped the camera around to show the whole Redfield crew cheering, waving their pistols in the air. Damien grabbed Bob's bloody KTA chain, holding it directly up to the camera lens so the entire city could see the evidence. At Redfield Mitch, asterisk, y'all KTA boys talking big on the net but y'all soldiers sleeping in the dirt. Shushing Cross caught him lacking at the store. Who next? Smokey. Reese. Come get your chain back. Redfield run the city KTA down. Within 2 minutes, the post had hundreds of views, shares, and comments. The disrespect was explicit, viral, and spreading like wildfire through every phone in the trenches. The calm was officially shattered. Redfield had just drawn first blood, and they were bragging about it to the world. The penthouse apartment went from a celebration to a freezing cold war room in a matter of seconds. Trey asterisk was looking down at his phone, his thumb frozen on the screen. The video of Mitch, Damien, and Kevin flexing Bob's bloody KTA chain was looping over and over, the sound of the Redfield crew laughing blasting through the speakers. "Yo," Trey said, his voice dropping all the hype from earlier, replacing it with a dangerous, shaking fury. "Look at the net right now. Look what these Redfield B asterisk S just posted." Smokey snatched the phone out of Trey's hand. "Sosa asterisk, swag asterisk, Louis asterisk, famous asterisk, and Reese asterisk crowded around him. As the footage played, the temperature in the room plummeted to absolute zero. Shay stood up from the recliner, holding her belly where little asterisk spider asterisk was resting, her eyes wide with fear and anger. Her sisters Tink asterisk, Lola asterisk, and Sky asterisk, along with asterisk Meyer asterisk, and Pam asterisk, all went dead silent. Bob wasn't just a runner. He was a kid from the neighborhood they all grew up with. "They killed Bob," Smokey whispered, his knuckles turning white as he gripped the phone. "They robbed him at the store, and they're laughing about it on the internet." "They put it on social media," Sosa said, his voice dropping into a register that made the hairs on everyone's arms stand up. He didn't yell. He just slowly reached into his long coat and grabbed a fresh 30-round magazine, sliding it into his rifle with a heavy, final click asterisk. "They think because the 501 boys are tearing up white stones, we're too scared to move." # tearing up the plan. Trey looked down at the floor, his teeth grinding. His master plan of staying laid back, collecting the money, and waiting out the war was completely dead. The trenches didn't care about business strategies when blood was spilled. "Forget the plan," Trey barked, grabbing a tactical vest and strapping it tight across his chest. "I said we stay back, but they just crossed a line you can't walk back from. They're mocking us to the whole city. If we don't slide on Redfield tonight, KTA looks weak. The starting won't respect us. The 501 boys will trample us, and our money won't mean a thing." "Trey's right," Swag asterisk said, dropping his designer jacket onto the floor and picking up a heavy automatic piece. All the flash and luxury vanished from his eyes. He was a killer now. "We got the millions, we got the muscle. Let's go buy enough lead to erase that whole block." Louis slammed his laptop shut, his face grim. "I'm tracking their live stream signal. They're still in Kevin's main apartment at Redfield. They're drinking, they're distracted, and they think they're safe because they're behind their gates. The mobilization of KTA. Smokey walked over to Shay, grabbing her face gently with both hands and kissing her forehead. Stay inside. Lock the doors. Famous, Reese. Y'all stay here and guard the building with the girls. If any Redfield cars try to double back here while we're gone, blow 'em away. Famous nodded, his face hardened like stone. Nobody gets past the first step of these stairs, Smokey. Go handle that. Reese stood by the balcony door, racking his slide, his eyes fixed on the distant lights of the Redfield apartments. Make it painful, Sosa. Let 'em know how KTA rocks. Smokey, Sosa, Swag, Louie, and Trey marched out of the apartment, their heavy boots echoing down the concrete stairwell. Down in the courtyard, 30 KTA soldiers were already gathered, their phones glowing with the viral video, their faces twisted with pure, unadulterated rage. Load up, Sosa roared down at the courtyard. Redfield wants to celebrate. We're going to turn that block into a graveyard. The KTA crew flooded into 4 separate SUVs, the engines roaring to life like a pack of wolves in the dark. The money-making days were officially paused. The chaos of the city had finally breached their walls, and KTA was rolling out to paint the Redfield apartments in blood. The engines of the SUVs were still rumbling in the KTA courtyard, the headlights cutting through the dark as 30 heavily armed soldiers waited for the signal to roll out. The rage on the block was a living thing, ready to boil over. Suddenly, Famous marched down the concrete stairs, his hand raised to stop the convoy. He stepped right in front of Smokey and Sosa's lead vehicle, forcing them to brake. Hold up, turn the keys off. Nobody is moving right now, Famous shouted, his voice echoing off the brick walls of the complex. Sosa slammed his door open, stepping out with his rifle tightly gripped, his face twisted in pure anger. Famous, step out the way. They killed Bob and they're flexing his chain on the net. We ain't waiting. Use your brains, Sosa, Famous barked back, stepping right into his brother's face, completely unmoved by the anger. Louie, look at the police scanners right now. The 501 boys just shot up White Stones an hour ago, and now Redfield just dropped Bob. The blue lights are flooding the entire district. If we roll up on Redfield deep in 4 trucks right now, we're driving straight into a police blockade. We'll all get locked up, the money gets seized, and Redfield wins. We gotta play this smart. Smokey stepped out of the passenger side, looking at Famous, then looking down at his phone. The sirens were already wailing in the distance, getting louder. Famous is right, Smokey said, his teeth grinding as he made the executive decision. We don't slide into a trap. We let the heat die down. When the police think the streets are safe and they back off, that's when we take their souls. The 1-week lockdown. For the next 7 days, the city trenches were under an absolute federal lockdown. Police cruisers sat on every major intersection connecting KTA, Redfield, White Stones, and Bluefield. Helis circled the skyline at night, spotlights cutting through the project courtyards. Inside the KTA penthouse, the family stayed low. Shay *** was resting, with Tink ***, Lola ***, Sky ***, Meyer ***, and Pam ***, keeping her spirits up while little *** Spider continued to grow. The brothers used the week to map out every single entry and exit point of the Redfield apartments. They weren't letting this go. They were just letting the blade get sharper. By the 8th night, the police presence finally thinned out. The city thought the chaos had passed. They were entirely wrong. The first strike, Famous and Sosa. The moment the cruisers left the western corridor, the KTA retaliation began. No heavy convoys this time, just silent, targeted strikes to bleed Redfield from the bottom up. A sleek, dark sedan crept down a side street just outside the Redfield borders. Inside were Famous and Sosa ***, their faces covered in black bandanas. Walking down the sidewalk, completely unaware, was a low-ranking Redfield runner named Little Ty. He was carrying a small bag of product, trying to set up his block shift now that the police were gone. The sedan jumped the curb, blocking his path. Famous threw the passenger door open, stepping out with a suppressed pistol. Little Ty's eyes went wide as he turned to run, but Sosa was already out of the back seat, cutting off his escape route. "This is for Bob," Famous whispered coldly. Bang, bang. Two quick shots echoed faintly in the dark alley. Little Ty dropped instantly into the dirt, his pack scattering across the pavement. Famous snatched the cash out of the runner's pockets, while Sosa picked up a Redfield lighter from the ground as a trophy. They jumped back into the sedan and peeled out before the block even realized what happened. The second strike, Trey, Louie, and Reese. At the exact same time on the opposite side of the Redfield complex, a stolen SUV rolled up to a dimly lit gas station. Standing by the payphone was another low-level Redfield lookout named G-Rock, leaning against the wall smoking a cigarette. Trey ***, Louie ***, and Reese ***, were inside the SUV. "There he is," Trey said, his youthful energy turning entirely lethal. He was in the background of that live stream laughing at Bob's chain. "Watch the flank," Louie said, keeping his eyes on the rearview mirror to ensure no backup was coming. Reese didn't say a word. He just opened the back door and stepped into the neon lights of the gas station. G-Rock looked up, recognized the cold, dead look in Reese's eyes, and reached for his hip. Reese was light years faster. He raised his Glock, taking absolute control of the grid. Bang, bang, bang. 3 rapid shots shattered the gas station glass, sending G-Rock crashing into the vending machines, completely lifeless. Trey bounded out of the passenger seat, running up to the body, and aggressively ripped a Redfield medallion right off the runner's neck. "KTA runs this city," Trey shouted into the night air before hopping back into the truck. Louie slammed on the gas, the SUV roaring away into the dark. The disrespectful return. Back at the KTA block, the penthouse apartment turned into an absolute stadium of hype. The text messages were flying, and the soldiers downstairs in the courtyard were throwing up the KTA sign, screaming into the night. They had taken 2 of Redfield's men in less than 30 minutes. Inside the living room, the music was turned all the way up. Swag *** and Smoke *** were tossing bills into the air, while Shay's sisters, Tink and Lola, were dancing to the heavy bass. Maya and Pam were pouring up shots of premium liquor at the counter. Famous *** and Reese ** sat on the main leather couch, completely in their element. Famous pulled out his phone and hit the Go Live button on social media. Within 30 seconds, over 1,000 people in the city flooded the stream. Famous held a massive, thick blunt up to the camera, blowing a heavy cloud of smoke directly into the lens, laughing loudly. "Yeah, look at the scoreboard," Famous shouted into the live stream, holding up the cash they took from Little Ty. "Y'all Redfield B******s thought we forgot. We told you we were waiting on the laws to clear out. We just caught 2 of your little soldiers slipping in the dark." Reese leaned into the camera view, holding a bottle of expensive champagne, taking a long swig before pointing a finger directly at the screen. He let out a cold, mocking laugh, completely unbothered. "Hey Kevin, hey Mitch," Reese laughed, shaking his head as he held up the stolen Redfield medallion Trey had snatched. "Come get your boys out the dirt. You flexed a chain, we took 2 lives. KTA is the big league. Stop playing with us before we come lock down your whole apartment complex." Trey and Louie jumped into the camera frame, waving stacks of hundreds, completely wilding out as the comment section went absolutely crazy. The internet was on fire. The streets were shaking, and KTA had just officially taken their respect back with maximum interest.